Okay, so I am down here at my mom's house. I decided to visit them today, and my sister came home to visit as well. So I want to peep in on her. So I'm going to try to see if I can get my sister to help me make a Sunday dish today. I did bring some things, and then she started talking about how she cooks it differently. I brought some chicken, and she was talking about how she cooks it differently. So I'm gonna see if she would be willing to join me and show you guys how she does it differently. So stay tuned. All right. Hey guys. We are back, and I have a special guest with me today. This is my sister Colette.
Hello.
And today we're going to be cooking something special. I'm gonna actually let her take over, and she's gonna show you what she has. So we're gonna get started. You want to tell everyone what you're gonna be doing today?
Well, so basically, my sister came with the chicken already seasoned with some peppers, and then we're gonna just add some more peppers and then some onion, and then she brought some kale. So we're gonna actually put the kale and the peppers on the chicken, and we're gonna cook all of them together. So that's gonna be a little exciting. It'll serve as like a main dish, and then maybe you can just kind of do a side rice or whatever else you want to add with that. But that's what we're gonna do today.
Right. And I didn't know that. I never thought about cooking kale or spinach with your chicken. So when she told me about that, I did bring the kale, and I was going to cook it separately. But when she told me, oh, I put my kale in with the chicken and let that bake, and I do some other special things to it as well, I said, oh, well, just do tell. So she's going to show me what she's been doing with her kale and chicken. And so now we're just going to turn it over to her, okay? Let's get started. All righty. So tell us what you're going to be doing.
Okay, so basically you've already seasoned the chicken. We had 2 packs of chicken, so I'm gonna add a little bit more seasoning on the other pack that's in here.
Okay.
We have some Italian seasoning. We have some garlic powder. I personally love onion powder. So we got like salt, we got some pepper. We're not gonna do too much because you've already seasoned it. So we're just gonna kind of add a little bit to kind of match the seasonings with that.
Okay.
Okay, so first we're gonna do some Italian seasoning. And mainly Italian parsley flakes, anything like that. It serves more so as decoration to kind of add a little bit of color to whatever you're cooking.
Okay.
So we're gonna add some of that. I mean, it's not like it has necessarily a lot of flavoring to it, so it's not like you can put too much on it.
Okay.
So you can't really go wrong with that. I personally love onion powder. My mother loves garlic powder, and so we're gonna do some garlic powder today. And then there's a little bit of garlic salt. I don't want to do too much salt, only because you don't really want to mess with a whole lot of salt. But we'll do just a little bit of garlic salt on here. And then I think I will probably do, she has a little bit of garlic powder. I will kind of take some liberty with the garlic powder. For one, garlic powder is good for your blood pressure.
Okay.
So you really, garlic powder, onion powder, you really can't go wrong with either one of those. I take a lot of liberty, especially with my onion powder, because it adds that onion flavor for those that don't necessarily like onion, but they want that flavoring. I take a lot of liberty, and it just adds a nice little flavoring to that.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see what else we have here. We got some garlic pepper. I'm gonna add a little bit of this on it. I'm not trying to make it spicy. So we'll just add just a little bit here. Let's see. We do have some soul food seasoning. Now this has a little kick to it, so we're gonna be very minimum with this, because we're not necessarily trying to make this meal spicy.
Okay.
So just a little bit. Now I will take a little bit of liberty, maybe add a little of this to the peppers here. Now what we do have here, the onion and the pepper, is soaking in vinegar. I love soaking all of my peppers in vinegar. What I do is I'll put them in the freezer. I'll go ahead and slice them up as soon as I buy them. I'll slice them up in like either small chunks or either slices the way we have here, and I'll go ahead and I'll put them in a container in vinegar, and I just let them sit in the freezer until I'm ready for them.
Okay.
That way they're good and they're soaked, and so when you're ready to cook for them, they already have that flavor in it. I do that with olives as well as onion. So any of those vegetable type things that you want to get from the store, go ahead, soak it in vinegar, put it in a container, and just freeze it. And sometimes you can put it in smaller containers so they're already in the right amount that you want to add. So you don't have to chop them up when you're ready to cook with them.
Okay, and I never tried that before. As you can see, I started and I had already began my seasoning this chicken, and you see bell pepper on one side, and so I never thought about soaking them in vinegar first. So that's why you see this already pre-done this way. But then when she saw it, she said, "Oh no, I got some flavors for you. I got some different things." So that's why I wanted her to kind of take over and let's see what she had today. So okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of add a little bit of seasoning to the peppers as well. You know, if you're soaking this in the freezer, you don't necessarily have to add any seasonings. If you've got the vinegar in there and it's gonna soak for a period of time, you don't necessarily have to add any seasonings to it. But we're just gonna add a little bit today, and I think we're gonna go with maybe just a little bit of salt. But again, we're a family that don't want a whole lot of salt in our meals, so we're not going to put a whole lot in there. I will put some pepper in there though. Let's see what else we have. We have some sage. I'll save the sage. I will go ahead and put some garlic powder on here. So the vegetables are also has its own seasoning. It's not just serving as a seasoning, but it also has seasoning on top of that. So that's going to be really, really good. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let's see if there's anything else. This sage that I had over here. Where did I put the sage? Right here. No, is that it? Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this sage, I'm just going to add a little bit here.
Okay. Oh, what type of flavor? What type of flavor do you think sage really gives?
I mean,
because
really
I tried it, and I wasn't really. I don't want to know if I don't know if impress is the word, but I was looking for something else, so that's why I don't use it.
It doesn't really do a whole lot. I use a lot of that stuff for more so decoration. Okay. Just because it makes the meat appear seasoned. Okay. And that's again that parsley flakes that doesn't have a real taste to it. Okay. So the Italian, it doesn't as well, but it kind of does a lot for decoration. Okay. To my meats, and that's pretty much the reason that I use it. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our onion pieces on here. Okay. Now what we're going to do after that is we're going to actually put our kale on top of the onion, and then we're going to put the peppers and then more onion on top of the kale. Okay. Okay. You can really use apple cider vinegar or distilled vinegar. I use both, so I think it's fine either one you use. First, I'm going to take some of these green, and then I'm going to kick them over here a little bit, just so we can add a little bit over here. I really like cooking with peppers.
Me too.
I love, do you? Mm-hmm. I love having the different colors of peppers, so I was really excited to see all of the different color peppers that my sister has. This is great.
Yeah, I recently started just buying the whole pack of the mixed colors.
Right,
and, so.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take some of the onion and we're going to put that on here. Now you can choose to make the onion smaller or bigger, whatever your liking is. And since we've already seasoned it, I'm going to take some of this, a little bit of this vinegar, and I'm going to pour it in the side, because you do want some of the vinegar in the water, because you do want some of the vinegar in the meat. It gives it a really good taste, but not too much, because don't want to overdo it, and you don't want to take off your seasoning that you've already put on. So just a little bit there. And then some of the, I don't know, do you want to use all of these?
It's up to you.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna not use all of them then. And we can just freeze those.
Okay.
And I did say I was gonna put the kale on. Let's see. Let's add a little more peppers, and then we'll put the kale on top of all of it, and then we'll add some to the top. See, now this just by itself, even without the kale, this by itself makes for a really good meal. Look how beautiful it is. Look at those colors coming together.
It is. Very beautiful.
It really
Looks
is.
tasty.
Very tasty. We're going to get some of the ones that was at the bottom because they've been soaking a little bit longer. Even if you take this and just let it soak for a day, then it'll have a really good flavor.
With you mean the peppers?
The peppers, let it soak with vinegar.
Okay.
It'll have a really good flavor within 24 hours. And again, I do that with olives as well. Like I buy olives and then I would just combine them all. So now we're gonna go ahead and put our kale on here.
Okay.
So
I've already washed.
already pre-washed, yes. So we're just gonna, now you know kale, just like spinach, is going to shrink.
Yes.
So we're gonna just take some liberty here. We're not gonna worry about it so much.
And let me tell you, I actually cooked 2 packs of this kale one day, and it shrinks so bad, and I ate the whole thing. So I don't know if that was good or bad, but it looks like I had nothing in the pot.
Yeah, it definitely shrinks. I'm losing some over here. Now you are welcome to cook your meat and your peppers first, and then add the kale later.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter, to be honest. Or what we can do is, well, no, we'll go ahead and add it all. Since we're in the adding business, we'll just go ahead and add it.
Now that is 2 packs there. I just kind of washed them and put them all in the same one. So.
And I'm kind of wondering if it's should put all of it on here.
But I know it's gonna shrink.
It's gonna definitely shrink.
I'm gonna cover it, so maybe
add some seasoning to it too. So let me just stop midway here.
Okay.
We're gonna add a little bit of just a little bit of salt to it. We're gonna add a little bit of pepper on here. And then let's add some garlic powder to it. Let's see. Okay, I think that's probably all we'll do with that.
Do you have to put more peppers on it, or are you gonna let that be it?
We can. I mean, it's really kind of what you want to do at this point because you have all of the seasonings in there. We do have peppers at the bottom, so yeah, if you want to go ahead and add the peppers to the top or more onions to the top.
Is that going to give it more flavor, or is just for?
It's going to be more so for decoration only, because the peppers are going to kind of pretty much simmer on the meat, and that's where you want that flavoring. But yeah, if you definitely want to put the peppers on the top, we can definitely do that. Okay, so I'm going to try to go ahead and fit some more of this kale here. I'm going to try to see if I can get all of it on here because we do know it's going to shrink. Okay, so we have just emptied out our kale here. So we're done with that. And we'll just add a little more seasoning on top of the kale that we just put in, so the kale can kind of be evenly distributed. We'll add just a little bit of salt, not too much, you don't need much. We're gonna add a little bit of pepper.
All right.
Okay, so we just finished putting all of the kale on there. And now what we're gonna do, and I've just kind of like seasoned it just a little bit, put a little bit of, maybe a little bit more salt on there. a little bit of pepper on there, and now we're gonna just add just a little bit of this vinegar, very, very little bit. Vinegar and vegetables. If you guys don't cook with vinegar in your vegetables, you definitely should. It doesn't take much. It adds a nice little flavoring. So we're gonna add just a few peppers here on top of the kale. You don't have to do this, but we're just going to. In a way, I kind of like it without the peppers, but because it's going to shrink, just maybe having those peppers on there, maybe kind of nice. So.
It's fruit.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like fruit.
Right, right. And the red peppers almost kind of looks like tomatoes, which may not be a bad addition as well. Cut up some tomatoes when you're cooking with kale.
Right. Have you ever eaten kale as a salad?
Yes.
Uncooked?
Yep.
Okay. How did you like it?
I like kale.
Okay. I don't really like it as a salad.
Oh, really?
I tried it. A coworker introduced me to that years ago, and tried to give it to me as a salad, and I didn't like it, but I love it cooked. Yeah. So I guess to each his own.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done with that. We're gonna cover this up, and we're gonna put this in the stove. And we're gonna let this cook.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna thing with aluminum foil. If you want to, you can poke holes in it. Just to kind of let it breathe a little bit, or you can wait a little bit and just let it just get in there and cook really good, and then kind of maybe poke holes in it a little bit later. So if you decide that you want to poke the holes, you can just get like a little fork and it's really gentle. You don't want to do too much, just enough to let the steam escape.
Okay. And how long have you been cooking your kale and spinach like this?
Oh, I guess for a few years. A few years.
Okay.
I definitely started with spinach first. Kale did not really kind of come on the scene until later for me. But then I still like spinach. I just like the taste of spinach. I can just eat spinach.
Okay.
So that is definitely, what I prefer when I put in my beef. But kale, you can mix the kale and the spinach together. I mean, just so you can definitely kind of mix and match and kind of figure out what you like best. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this in the oven.
For how long?
So it's gonna probably take that meat maybe, let's say about 45 minutes or so. Maybe an hour to cook.
Everything?
Yeah,
Okay.
so probably about a good hour. We're gonna check on it probably in 30 minutes. Just kind of see what it's doing. It's a glass container, so you'll be able to kind of see it cooking in there. But we're gonna just kind of keep checking on it. It's not gonna take any time for the kale to cook, but it'll be the meat that will take a little bit longer.
Okay.
Okay, we're just gonna put this in here. The bottom one is raised up a little bit, so we're gonna go ahead, we can put it on there. You can put it on the top, it doesn't really matter. As long as it's raised off, so it's not directly on the heat, then that's all you need. So, it's good to go. All right.
Give it to somebody that can do work and do work.
Cornbread.
Go through.
Ooh, looks delicious. Oh my. This is gonna be a nice treat. Nice treat. Oh yes. That is ready for the tasting. Oh, beautiful. Okay, and that concludes the end of our video. Just me hanging out with my sister. As you can see, we are ready to dig in. Yes, And so I appreciate you stopping by
Yes.
and sharing
It's
your
a pleasure.
talent with us today. And so, all right.
Okay. This is good. This is really good. It turned out really good.
It did. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank
All
you
right.
for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Bye, guys.
Bye.